But I think what we'll do now is we're going to head to Gerudo Fortress and go and do the Haunted Wasteland now that we've got the Lens of Truth. So I will see you guys back at Gerudo Fortress.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Alright, we're back at Gerudo's Fortress. And what we do now is, with the Gerudo membership card, we can talk to this Gerudo. I'm sorry, we can go up this ladder and talk to the Gerudo up top. And she'll open the gate so we can get into the desert. First trial is the River of Sand. Second is the Phantom Guide. The Phantom Guide requires the Lens of Truth, which is why we didn't do this earlier. The part that I'd completely forgotten about. Alright. Leave Epona here and head out into the Haunted Wasteland. Chase a mirage, the desert will swallow you. Let me put the Lens of Truth on, actually. So here's the first trial, the River of Sand. We need the long shot. I'm pretty sure the long shot is actually required for this. Yeah, that distance, the hook shot would never make it. Because that is Super Mario 64 style quicksand. Step on it, sucked in. And then follow the flags. That sign leads over to a shop. We need the hover boots to get to it. I haven't got them, but the shop also... the only thing it does is it sells bomb shoes, which we haven't gotten yet. No, we haven't gotten bomb shoes yet, but we don't need them. That's the next flag. There's the next one. You know, I don't think I've had this much trouble seeing the flag in years. Here we go. I want to head in here. Gold Sculpture. And if we'll use Din's Fire, it'll be quicker. There it is. 50 rupees. No, I don't need another fairy. I want the magic though. Oh well. I always hate how inconsistent that is. Some of the climbable surfaces will let you hook shot to them, some of them just won't. Alright, here we are. Yeah, maybe it's because of the N64's resolution, it just seems harder to see the flags through the sandstorm. That's the thing of the word then. Only with the Eye of Truth will walk. One with the Eye of Truth shall be guided to the Spirit Temple by an inviting ghost. So we use the Eye of Truth and we see a Poe. And we have to follow it. So we follow this Poe, and this Poe leads us on the exact path. You can't run straight to the Spirit Temple from here. So if you go the wrong way, you end up back at the start of the desert. I always intended to memorize this path as a kid, and I never did. Like, you'd think you'd run straight to those flag posts from there, but if you do, you'll be reset back to the start. Probably. I'm not sure, this spirit might just be messing with us in some areas. And that's it, Spirit Temple. This is the Desert Colossus. And that's the Goddess of Sand. Let's get out of there. Really do hate these things. There's not really a proper way to deal with them. You can attack them, but they'll keep coming. Use a bomb here. Opens this up. And it's the penultimate Great Fairy Fountain. And this will be Nehrus Love. Great Fairy of Magic. So Din's fire represents Din as the goddess of power by being an attack spell. For us, wind represents the goddess of courage by letting you teleport to another area. Nehrus Love represents the goddess of wisdom by creating a shield. If you're doing a 3-heart run, Nehrus Love is something you really do want. But with this many hearts, we will not have a problem to really worry about. The main issue is there's an enemy in the Spirit Temple that can do 3 hearts worth of damage per attack. Nehrus Love just gives you that safety net. The issue is, though, that enemy also has a fairly predictable attack pattern, so it's not too hard to deal with if you know it. And into the Spirit Temple. And so we take a look at this. If you want to proceed to the past, you should return here with the pure heart of the child. This one, if you want to travel to the future, you should return here with the power of silver from the past. And what that really means is, can't go through there because that's for Child Link, and this block is too big for us to push. So we have to come back here as Child Link. What you have to do is you have to actually come in here to trigger the flag when you leave. And when you leave, Sheik appears. And Sheik teaches the song to get here. And look, there's the only time we see the owl as an adult. And because young Link can't get into the Gerudo fortress, even if he couldn't get through Haunted Wasteland because he doesn't have the long shot. You need this song to get here as young Link. I think the Requiem of Spirit is pretty good. But yeah, the only time we see Kaepora Gaebora as an adult. It was theorized for a long time that Kaepora Gaebora was actually Rauru, the Sage of Light, and Nintendo did come out and confirm it a few years back. Did they confirm it, or was it confirmed in the Hyrule Historia? It was confirmed somehow. Sheik, I have a question. Okay. Well, that was fun. So let me see, I need this, and I'm going to want this. Is there anything else for me to do here? There is this oasis. So here's a nice little trick. If you stand here, yeah, I thought with it being something you could Z-target, Navi might say something. But now if you stand here and play the Song of Storms, the storm fills the oasis, which also releases a bunch of fairies. And I'm hearing a gold sculpture. Where is it? Is it over there? Yeah, I knew I saw it. Alright, so let's get this while we're here. Are those supposed to be coconuts on the palm trees? Because they just look like Deku seeds. Not Deku seeds, Deku nuts. Alright, but now it's time for us to head to Kakariko Village. What was the Nocturne of Shadow? I've forgotten it now. Oh yeah, there's all the songs. Do 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 do. I was missing the first part. And let's go and do the Shadow Temple. So you're supposed to need the Nocturne Shadow to get up here, but people have found that you can glitch your way up here without the Nocturne Shadow. Zelda Ocarina of Time speedruns are really fascinating to watch. I saw one at one of the GDQs a few years ago. You need Din's Fire for this. I saw one at one of the GDQs a few years back that was 100% speedrun, and the routing for it was fascinating. It was discovered quite a few years ago now, actually, that if you tilt the cartridge in the Nintendo 64 just right, I think when you go into the fight with Goma in the Great Deku Tree, you will be able to... Essentially, you warp to the final fight after the fight with Ganondorf. Make my beak face the skull truth. We'll do that in a minute. It's this one. And the speedrun used that, but then exited the fight and ended up on Hyrule Field, which was really interesting as a method of getting all the way across Hyrule Field really quick. It was a fascinating playthrough. This isn't where I want to go. Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. So that's not where I want to go. So this is Hidden in the Darkness, tricks full of ill will, you can't see the way forward. This is a big part of the focus, part of the reason why this, a lot of the creepypastas and darker fan theories are focused on the Shadow Temple. But here's the dead hand again, it has 6 hands this time. But we also have the bigger sword. Oh, got caught by it too early then. Alright. There we go. I really do hate that that's a requirement. Get back here. Damn it. Alright, come on. Let's finish this. There we go. Take that. And here's a weird thing with the Shadow Temple. You get the item for the dungeon this early. But the item itself is necessary to travel through the dungeon. It's the hover boots. Like the iron boots, the way these work were changed in the 3DS version where they were just an item you could equip rather than actual equipment. Alright, so let's get out of here. I should probably check this room out. I think this is where we get the map. I don't think we've seen it yet in this playthrough, but the Redead, if the Redead spots you, it'll paralyze you, which is true of everywhere except Hyrule Castle. Hyrule Castle Town, and I think that's because when a Redead paralyzes you, what happens is the camera shifts to focus on the Redead for a couple of seconds. But because the camera in Hyrule Castle Town is fixed, that can't happen. So I'm pretty sure that's why it doesn't happen in Hyrule Castle Town. There we go, the map. This will be useful. Okay, through there.